Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have Veracity, VRA, chart analysis shortly, but first of all we're going to talk about a couple of key pointers that we have noticed in the last few days relating to Veracity and some matching up, if you like, with what's going on with Twitter and of course Elon Musk. So let's go straight into that. Before we do check out our other videos. We have a load of different ones, loads of different projects, loads of different rabbit holes, loads of different conversations. Hopefully guys, you enjoy them. We will do some more live ones as well as my internet gets better. But let's jump straight into this one, guys. So this was interesting earlier today. So Veracity's Mark, one of the head people there at Veracity, was pretty much jumping on a tweet that came out yesterday from Elon Musk. Actually, there's a couple over the last 24, 48 hours as well. We've seen in the news recently, of course, Elon Musk trying to purchase Twitter for a substantial amount of money. There's a bit of a block going on at the moment because of some discrepancies with what the SEC and in general what Twitter provide information-wise in terms of how many people are actually using the system and how many of them are actually bots. Now, it's very interesting because you could actually look at a load of different projects right now, and if you actually delve deep enough, you will find a lot of botted influencers or supposed influencers and things like this. So, I mean, you could go and check people out. There's a load of people out there with blue ticks. They have like 50,000, 100,000. Some even have like over 1 million followers. And actually, if you do your due diligence, you can see clearly that they have like 1 million followers, but they only have like 20 likes on each of their posts. Now, either people are bored out of their minds reading what they're putting up, or if you look closely, majority of them do have bot followers. It's something that's been around for a long, long time. Even I remember, 2012, 13, you could pay people like, not necessarily on Fiverr, but other platforms, and just say, yeah, we'll increase your followers. And then they just add a load of fake accounts and stuff like that on there with automated AI botting. And it's similar to the trade markets now as well. So this point here I'm trying to make is, Veracity obviously has this proof of view mechanism. We'll go back to the tweets in a second. I just want to remind people of this. So, multitude of patents going through right now worldwide, and have been for a while now, for the latest ad stack aspects, also influenced by their partnership or integration, if you like, with Brightcove as well. And this is really helping really implement data and views, real people and their movements and what they do online into blockchain for a permanent accountability, and also to remove things like fake advertising, fake bots. And you think about this, right? Imagine like a channel or something, or like a streamer, or even YouTube themselves are potentially giving away too much money because too many people have supposedly watched this video, but actually majority of the people watching the video aren't even real. We see this a lot even in the comments. Look at the comments like on most YouTube channels, even in ours, that we have like these people like saying, hey, how do I increase my Bitcoin? And it's like Brenda from an account that was made like yesterday with like hundreds of followers all of a sudden, asking strange questions, and all of a sudden there's some botted conversation going on, and I'm sat there when I look at all the comments, like hopefully more as time goes by, but I try and check them every day. But honestly, the amount I have to go through and sift through and delete because they're all just awful botted messages, and I'm like, do you know what? I don't want those fake comments like adding to my numbers. I don't want fake views on my channel. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Not that the views on the videos are massive, because we're still growing, of course. But one day I'm sure there will be. But you see a lot of other channels, and it's clear as day who's got fake followers. Whether they've implemented them themselves or they've just appeared is another conversation. But We of course have the integration of VRA views, contact us to get started. So it's a massive service really, and it's just very small part of the arm of what Veracity is about as a system, as a platform. Of course, we talk about the esports. We even mentioned about esports before. Why is that of importance? Well, esports is one of the highest viewed things in the world now. I've got loads of cool statistics on gaming, which I will do a video on in the next few days. But again, it's the similar principle of if all you got these platforms sending out loads of money to the streamers and whatnot, and actually a big percentage of those are fake, each of these companies are wasting a lot of money. Even the likes of Google could be. I think there was a case study Veracity did last year, something like $300-400 million a year or something, maybe even more than that, is going lost due to advertising fraud or viewership fraud. So it's really interesting on that side of things, and this loops us back to this point here. So this was actually from a tweet yesterday. So how do advertisers know what they're getting for their money? This is fundamental to the financial health of Twitter, and obviously Mark here has replied to that, mentioning the ad stack formats that Veracity can provide through proof of view, and that they have indeed tried to speak to Twitter or the ex-CEOs or whatever in the past, and it's gone on deaf ears. But we fast forward another 24 hours to today. Elon Musk here, 20% fake/spam accounts, while 4 times that what Twitter claims, could be much higher. My offer was based on Twitter's SEC filings being accurate. Yesterday, Twitter's CEO publicly refused to show proof of the less than 5%. This deal cannot move forward until he does. So there's a couple of things here. He's putting pressure on, either reducing the price or he's making a point. I always think Elon Musk has some really cool alternative motives sometimes. I think in general, he probably uses Twitter a lot, as we know. And I just feel like in the back of his mind, maybe he's just not even looking to buy Twitter. Maybe he's just making a fundamental point. And perhaps, maybe, just maybe, he's really focused on integrating more and more blockchain, DIDs especially. I think this is really important part of the conversation, digital identities. No more anonymous sign-ups and flat. You should be accountable for your existence on social media. So, to remove racism, to remove anti-Semitism and all of this stuff that should not be around in our world anymore, and people hide behind the screens, right? So it's all about that as well, in my opinion, just trying to make a point that actually maybe these social media platforms don't have as many people as they think they do. And secondly, it's making more and more people aware, which is a great thing, that actually other things we see numbers wise even real. And you, like I said, you can go into so many of these social media platforms or people's platforms that have all these hundreds of thousands of followers, and like all the followers are just like 1 or 2 followers themselves, and they're like zero activity, but they're just robots and fake pictures or recycled pictures. It's weird. So this is what he's saying. This is precisely what Veracity Tech's proof of view does now on the Bright Cove platform. Weeds out bots and rates humans and puts the data on the blockchain for all to see. Tech exits and is up and running and kills bots. So I think that's supposed to be tech exists. Sorry, not exits. There we go. I was just saying it as it was put. It's not my fault. So yeah, this is really interesting, guys, and I think, in my opinion, if Veracity can really properly nail down the marketing more and more around these topics, they could easily get themselves integrated with proper conversations with the like of Elon Musk and Twitter and all the other social platforms to showcase their technology. And what does that mean for us? It means that we hopefully see prices rise and rise. Which, on that point, let's go into the chart. Hope you found that a bit interesting, a little topic to discuss. But let's go into this. Guys, Veracity has been at its lowest point back here on the 12th of May. We all remember these days very well in our minds. It wasn't a great, massive time here. So this is like about a week ago. And just looking at the 4-hour chart here. The reason I'm doing that is because of the not massively significant movement in the price chart, but it's clear as day that we are making some slow progress on this 4-hour. I'll move back to the day chart. This will pull out the fib retracements that we've put in at those macro levels in a bit more detail, just to see exactly where we are with everything. So we had this bottom area here, as I said, 0.005, and now we are messing about trying to make our way back to the longer level up here at around about 1 cent. What's going on right now? Let's look at the macro level here. I'm just going to remove the really small one, and we're going to see a much more detail here. Here we go. So as you can see, we've filed ourselves up 1, 2, 3 stages of the fib retracement on this macro level. We have had some tests just under, literally just under that 1 cent mark, which is up here. It looks like a big gap. It's really not price wise, but literally look at that, 9.5 of a cent. So close. It's not quite ready yet, guys, but what we're doing right now is retesting this area, which, by the way, is not something we have seen since last July. I made this point in a lot of videos recently. There's a big retest, or was a big retest a few days ago at this previous July period, and this is really, really crucial, guys, because in most of the charts it's a repeated pattern now, but for me it's about this area. It's about stabilizing. If you look here, on the 12th of May, we had this really crazy day. We had this big low point here, which is the lowest it was at all on that day. And we had the highest point up here, 0.008. And look at where we've been trying to test right now. So right now, we're currently floating as we are at 0.0088. And it's literally just above this line here. So what I'm trying to get at is this area is of great importance. I'd like to see some sideways trading. We might see a bounce back down to test this lower region here, which is very much bouncing just under the 0.008 mark. So we could get another retest of there and then try and test back up here again. However, what I would love to see, because of the last 3 days being so significant around this area, in fact, I'd say 4, because that's when we had the last touch point, is seeing us try to get some stabilization at this 0.0085 mark. If we can do that, we could start seeing us testing these a lot quicker, these higher areas. Once we get to those areas, we're starting to push for the 1 cent again, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Veracity start a really good recovery here. So at the moment, we're just testing the ground at these areas of the lower region. So that's very much what I'm anticipating is to see us retest this area here. So if you're looking for buy opportunities, that could be potentially an area to consider. Would we come back down to 0.0072? Absolutely, that's possible. We just need to perhaps be a bit more patient to see if that comes into play, and that will really depend, in my opinion, on Bitcoin's movements. We're currently on Bitcoin, actually, I think, trying to keep ourselves afloat at that 30,000 mark. Doing well so far, but if we do retest lower regions of Bitcoin and this fails, which we're not really going to know, as I said, for another week or so, could see those lower regions again. But if Bitcoin stabilizes, I can see stabilization on Veracity as well, and then trying to set, as I said, pull ourselves back up. We did, as I said, try to test that area already, just under the 1 cent mark. It's failed on 2 occasions. It tried a third, which was today, and it's not quite ready. The volume at the moment is just teetering itself to suggest that we might have some sideways movements. What else can we look at? Let's take a look at these indicators quickly back down here. So you can see we had the massive overselling area, 3 waves of it, but each wave on the highest point was lower each time, which is really good in terms of volume. This is about volume, guys. So now we finally get a nice little green flip here. As I said, this is probably going to be a small move, but we might start seeing a waved pattern if we can get some stability. We've already had the low points on the RSI. If you look here, some floating around here, 33 on the 14 days. So this was going back all the way down to 20, guys. This was a huge buying opportunity. I still think there's a really good buying opportunity here. This is not financial advice. This is just me doing my dollar cost averaging every time I see Veracity in a good position. And right now, in my opinion, not necessarily just on the 14 day, but in particular on the 28 day as well. So we'll be back down here at 30. We're now floating around 35. This could be really interesting indeed, because it means that in a month's time, this is a really good target area to say, right, well, I got here at 35. If we start reaching nice highs of 70 towards 80 on the RSI, we know for a fact in our minds that we've doubled our position, if not more. So I'm really excited to see how that develops as well. Don't ask me where my blue one's gone. I haven't. Oh, there it is, my 90-day. It was hiding. The 90-day, which had the low point here of 43.08, it's now 43.9. So if you're looking at something like over a 3-month period, again, 43 is a pretty nice area to be. If you look at comparisons, just as the big high point phased off in April for Veracity here on this wave, it was up at 49. So even in this month's period, we have dropped to a very nice level. And the confirmation a few days ago at 43.08 is, in my mind, where we see the bottom area of the price point. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm excited now because I want to see some sideways trading on Veracity for a bit to get stabilization alongside Bitcoin, and we can start pulling ourselves up. The performance indicators on the right hand side here are still looking pretty poor in my opinion. Not 11% down on the week, which is not great, but like I said, we could see that turnaround in this week and the weekend coming. The 3 months and the 6 months are understandable. The market in general looks like this, to be honest. In fact, this is probably one of the better ones I've seen. This is usually on most asset classes been seeing around 90%. It's clawing its way back down. Do not expect miracles in the few weeks coming, guys. It's going to take the market quite a bit of time, 2-3 months minimum, to try and see ourselves reduce these significantly to the zero marks. In some cases maybe long, especially for this 6-month one. This could be a relatively long ride. We'll have to see. It's all about Bitcoin's movements at the moment. So guys, this pretty much wraps up Veracity. Do let us know in the comments below what you've been doing with Veracity the last few weeks in this obscene bear market that we have been witnessing. Have you been buying? Have you been cautious? Are you just waiting it out a bit longer like I am still? But you know, dollar cost averaging is a really good solution to all this. Playing it safe, being strategic, and see what happens. But guys, I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you so much for watching. We will indeed catch you in the next Veracity video very soon. Bye-bye.